Intermittent fasting is an eating pattern that alternates between eating and fasting. So typically, people would fast for 16 hours and consume within an 8-hour window. It could be even shorter, up to 4 hours. The pros of intermittent fasting is that it eliminates food consumption outside of a certain time window, which could potentially help you reduce food consumption. And it also introduces structure into your eating habits, which could help simplify things. Also, it could also help with cellular repair. And all of this could potentially help improve your health and improve body fat loss. The cons of intermittent fasting is that it is pretty rigid and it could potentially hinder with your social life. And also, it could potentially cause you to overeat within your eating window, which kind of defeats the whole purpose of this whole diet. It can be quite simple to introduce intermittent fasting into your life. More often than not, a lot of us would be on an intermittent fasting timeline when we just eliminate one meal in the day, typically breakfast. So you just have lunch and dinner. There's actually typically an 8-hour eating window, so you're intermittent fasting already. So generally, when people intermittent fast, they feel a bit more alert in the morning, especially when they eliminate food, when they eliminate breakfast in the day. So when you implement the intermittent fasting diet into your life, the results can be pretty fast, especially when your eating habits are very inconsistent and very disorganized. Once you introduce structure into your lifestyle by doing intermittent fasting, it could potentially eliminate a lot of foods that are outside of this window that you normally consume, which could help you lose weight pretty quickly. And I find it pretty sustainable as well. If you find that you can operate on an empty stomach first thing in the morning, some people may not be able to do so. Some people may feel like they need food or certain types of fuel to keep themselves productive and energized. But some people can operate on just caffeine or on just black coffee. That actually keeps you in a faster state. Even when you consume like black coffee, that's completely fine. Well, this diet, it depends on how you respond. Some people will have a huge appetite increase once when they've been fasting for a while, and when that happens, they could potentially indulge a lot during the eating windows, and which defeats the purpose of intermittent fasting or weight loss if that's your goal. But generally, it's quite sustainable, I find. Yeah. So this diet, going on to intermittent fasting could potentially, it's actually a very fluid diet. If you are somebody who spends a lot of money outside of this eating window and you are completely fine, and if you feel fine eliminating these foods, you could potentially save a lot of money actually, if you think about it. But if you are somebody who feels like you need to reward yourself for fasting for enduring a fast for such a long period of time, then you may end up spending more money rewarding yourself, and that could potentially increase in the cost of your food. So it really depends on which side of the pendulum you swing to. If you are somebody who can stick to an eating habit without feeling like you're deprived, you could potentially save money. But if you're somebody who feels like, hey, wow, I've suffered for a long time already, I need to reward myself, and you start spending more money on yourself, then you could potentially you would spend more money. So it really depends on what kind of person you are, and you decide which one is best for you.